in terms of legal permission, so then you perform Hajj. So he said, oh, your answer is very true. So we surprised again. This person, the person who is asking, it means this person, he is ignorant. But this person confirming the answer. So we surprised. Then they said, okay, inform me about Iman. So Rasulullah said, same thing. You believe in Allah, you believe in angels, you believe in books, you believe in messengers, and the day of Akhirah, next life. And then you believe Qadr, the destiny, what is under it, destiny, good and bad, both from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, yes, you are right. So then he said, give me the meaning of ihsan. So Allah Rasulullah replied, you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just like you are seeing Him. And if you are not in that level, so at least believe that Allah is seeing you. So then he said, give me the when the day of judgment will be over. So then the Rasul said, Mal mas'ulu anha bi'alam min as-sa'il. Your knowledge and my knowledge is same. If you don't know, I don't know as well. But I can give you some signs. One of the signs that a mother will deliver a baby who will slave her or who will be master of her. And you see those who have barefooted and they have not enough clothing on their body and they are shepherded, but time will come when they will raise or high-rise buildings and they will compete in it. So then he stayed a little bit and then he left. And we were not able to ask him or ask Rasulullah, who is this person? But when he disappeared, Rasulullah said, you know, who is the person who is asking question? We said, no. So he said, he is a Jibreel. And he came to teach you your deen. So the hadith is actually, many meaning we can understand from this hadith. First thing, and he started with Islam. And the natural position is to start with Iman first, because Iman is the basic, then the foundation, and then the Islam starts. But the visible part is Islam. So he started about it. So Rasulullah informed him about the 5 pillars of Islam. And then he asked about Iman and 5 pillars or 6 pillars of Iman as well. So in the sense of Iman, when we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so our belief in Allah is not only belief, it is a total belief, a complete belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with all His attributes. And if I am believing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then I am believing that He is a Alim, know everything, He is a Razzaq, He is giving provision. Every attribute described by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Quran, or as Hadith said, 99 names of Allah. And we believe also that nobody associating with Him in every attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when we believe in Malaika, of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created million and million creation. But why only angels? Why angels only? He can ask, believe in animals, believe in this. No, he didn't ask only angels. Because angels are very special creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are created by Noor. And jinn are created by Nar, fire. And Noor is different from fire. And then when we believe in angels, we believe in angels in many ways. First thing, they are total obedient of Allah. And they are 100% fulfilling Allah's commands without any mistake, any error, right? Any kind of, just like, we say, the angel missed the death of someone, he did in haste. So it means, for example, he did something grabbing the soul of a person with before time and so on. And in Quraysh time or before Islam time, they were considered that the angels are daughters of Rasul Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in that sense, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that what they are asked, they do. La yasun Allah ma amarahum. Whatever Allah asks them, they do it without any violation, without anything. And they had different duties. Just like highest duty is Jibreel alayhi salatu salam. So in that sense, kutub, many kutubs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. So we believe in all books. But only book we follow is Quran. All previous books either changed or altered or added, but the Quran is safe, secure, with its original language, with its every single word, it is without any change. So we believe in it as an iman and as a practice, as a source of guidance. And the Rasul, many Rasuls Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed from Adam alayhi salam up to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we believe in all them, but the one who follow him is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because after his prophethood, every Rasul's position is become just like a former messenger, or you can say, for example, they are, for example, also following Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and we believe in Akhirah, and this day is day of Amal, and the day result of will be the day of judgment. And we believe in Qadr. Qadr is whatever decided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, perfect ratio of everything. But the Qadr has a good value and bad value, or bad result or good result. So it is also part of Qadr. But what is why we need it to understand it? Because the most controversial part of our Sharia is destiny. And Sharia consider it mustashabihat, one thing which we know it, but we cannot figure out the real meaning of it. But what we can understand easily, that the taqdeer or qadr is two kind. One is, which is, you can say, everything designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this universe, this human being, everything, right? But this qadr is not questionable for us. We can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask us why you are not so and so, why you are born in this time or that time, why you have a less energy or more energy and so on. So this portion is not under a hisab, asking. But the other part of qadr is a very limited portion of our whatever we have in our body, in our soul. We have some kind of freedom we can do with our own choice. So this portion is under hisab, under accountability. Suppose, for example, I have a 24 hours and you have a 24 hours, but how you convert your 24 hours in good or bad, it is you who will decide, right? But you cannot change 24 hours. You cannot change, for example, the whole system is working in this universe. So shar and khair is not the real value of khair and shar. The value is khair, but we sometimes convert it into shar. Yani shar is not original part of qadr. It is we who convert it. Suppose I have a knife. I can use it for good purpose and I can use for bad purpose. So the khair and shar is coming, and this is, all these 5 issues you can see the most of the division in humanity happen all around this thing. Either they change the attributes of Allah, so they created many kind of groups, 2 gods, 3 gods, 4 gods, 1,000 gods, or about the angels, or about the Rasul, about the books. And then the qadr. And qadr is actually, in the Persian, one of the founder of one of the Majus, he said, in this world something happening is good and something happening is bad. And it is unbelievable that Allah will create bad. So what they did, they created 2 gods. one guard of khair, one guard for shar. So they saved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from accusation, but they, put him in worse situation. He become a kind of parallel to other god also. So they have a two gods concept. In Persian it called Yazda and Ahraman. So ihsan actually has two meanings. It's coming from husn or hasan. Hasan means beauty, good. So ihsan, to do something in a good way, in a proper manner, it is ihsan. And other meaning is also perfection. Yani Rasulullah said in hadith, in Allah yuhibbul ihsana fi kulli shay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to see you to do everything with utmost perfection. Even you are, for example, slaughtering any bird or animal, you're supposed to do in a nice way, with a sharp, a knife, with, for example, not teasing more than what is required, and so on. And ihsan is also is echoing another term which in this hadith is coming, that how we do our amal beyond our human capacity, beyond our, for example, so how we be more attentive, how we be more focused, how we do every amal with its due all details, even minute details. So Rasulullah explained it in this hadith, if you are worshipping Allah, you believe that you are seeing Him. And if not, then Allah seeing you. The point is here, it is very important, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying you are seeing Him. You imagine that you are seeing Him. The very big difference between it, right? Just imagine, suppose, for example, you are watching someone and he's in front of you, so you are 100% seeing him. But suppose, for example, someone is at your home, right? And you are praying and you are mindful about this person, suppose kid, maybe they are not, they have some problem, maybe, for example, some older person, maybe they say he need my help and so on. So you have something in your attention. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained to Musa as-salam, lan tarani, you cannot see me, right? So in that sense, when we do it, we assume. And if we are not at that level, at least we must confirm that he is watching us. So this issue is not the imagination or a kind of something which we can. فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seeing us. And what seeing means? Seeing means that He is seeing us how we are following Him, and seeing us what is the level of our amal, and seeing us that how, for example, we are mixing it, or we are changing it, or we are missing. So everything in Rasulullah, and then He is recording us, and then He appointed some other angels who do the recorded. So everything will be in our hisab. At the day of judgment, we will see it. So then the first thing is about the Qiyamah, the day. Most curiosity related to Day of Judgment. Every religion has some kind of information about it. But you will see that the most problem happen when you try to fix date. You say, okay, the Qiyamah will happen on next year, this month. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never disclosed it. So 5 things which is not disclosed to anyone, one of them is Qiyamah. And even Rasulullah said, as he said here, I don't know, as you don't know. But I can give you some alamat. When our ulama gathered the alamat from hadith, so they divided in 2 categories: the minor alamat of Qiyamah, signs, and the major. And major means which will be very close, the days of Qiyamah. But we cannot figure out what is the time and what is the limit. So he gave one of the alama, not too many, one of the alama, that you will see 2 alamat. One, the lady will give birth of a person who will be his master, her master. And this this wording is explained 2 ways. One is that if suppose a slavery is there, and mother is slave and father is free man, and she gave a birth, So she will be also, the baby belong to father, and then after father he will be the master of his mother. In that way, it is the true meaning of it. Other meaning is in a way, just we can say a kind of, exampling it, that the mother will give birth, and instead, baby pay attention to her, serve her, and be, good servant to her. He or she will dictate her. She will take control about, just like we can see in our time, right? Many, for example, parents cry about what? Kids are not listening. Not only listening, but they are, for example, just like disobeying. So this is one of the signs which will happen before the day, or it happen in different times of our life span. The second, as he said, the people, those who are nothing, they have no home, they have no good earning, they have no good food, no money, but the time will come when they will compete each other to high-rise buildings. And this happening in our time. You can see, for example, that the peninsula of Arabia is now, for example, competing who will be the tallest building. And it is, for example, even the, for example, other tallest building of other part of world is going, for example, lower than that. And it is not any, sometimes you can say it is good or bad. Maybe it is good, maybe it is bad, both. But the issue is that it will happen in that time, and a whole scenario will change. Instead of building our iman, building our, caring about haram, caring about the, respect of sacred places, they will just do many kind of these things, which is making them busy with dunya kind of things, and so on. So these are four things belong to deen. So deen means not only, for example, worshipping or so on. Deen means belief. Deen means our working part of our practical part of thing, and deen means also how we be mindful about the perfection of our amal. And fourth thing, how we mindful about this time limit we are given the dunya, and when the time is over, what will happen, our next situation. All are belong to deen. And then Rasulullah explained that he was the Jibreel. So he came in the shape of human face. Nobody recognized him, but and why he came here to ask questions? Two reasons. One is that he want to encourage others to ask questions. So he started, and also that he want to make the issue that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he is saying, right? He is not saying from his own. So he is confirming that what I said you, why I informed you, why I conveyed you, why I gave you the Quran and understanding, you are really believing in it and you are really following it. So it is Imam Nawawi brought it under muraqabah, that's like Jibreel as-salam coming to monitor Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also coming to say under the ihsan, what is that your duty to do worship in a perfect manners. The second hadith is very good hadith. Abdullah ibn Abbas, one time he said, and he was a young man, so he said, I was riding with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and sitting same, you can say camel or maybe other animal, sitting behind him. So he said, Ya ghulam inni u'allimu kalimat. Oh young man, I am teaching you some good words. First is ahfizallaha yahfizak. If you remember Allah, He will remember you. If you keep Him in your mind, He will keep you in His mind. And of course, our keeping in mind is one thing, and keeping He will keep in us in every time. It is not that He will forget us or will miss us, no. But when He will remember Him, He will remember us in a good manners. He will care about us. He will help us, and He will save us from anything we think. So when you are mindful about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will see Him in front of you. How? إِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ. So if you ask anyone, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have two kind of asking. One is help, right? We can take help from it. If I'm taking help from my hand, I am using it. I'm taking my car, I'm using it. So it is not the sawal. The sawal is you supposed to use something as a medium, as a mean, not as a real source. But when you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are asking Him the only source to provide us a means, all kind of mediums and things. And this is we confirm it in Surah Fatiha. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We confirm that we will do ibadah and we will seek your help only. وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. If you are seeking the support, seek support from Allah. وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةَ. All humans, if they united to give you something which benefit you, and it is not written, nobody can provide you this thing. And every person united against you to give you something harmful, and it is not written, nobody can harm you. قَدْ كَتَبَهَا اللَّهُ عَلَيْكَ. What is written? رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ. What is written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is the pen of writer, just like it is taken away from the pages. وَجُفَّتِ الصُّحُفُ. What is the record of amal is already, for example, completed. This is actually very, very an interesting point for all of us, that when we are especially in good time, we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that how He blessed us, how He honored us. And we think that we are actually controlling ourselves. We have good time because we are smart people. We did this thing. And we forget that nothing can come without permission of Allah. And then when it is bad time, we blame everyone. We say, oh, why me only? Why it is happening to me? What this person did to me? This thing happened with me. But the issue is that nothing will happen what is written for me. The whole world can become a paradise if people believe in those two things. First thing, believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And second thing, they believe in destiny. All fighting, all over the world powers fighting for what? To control resources, to control nations, right? Why? They think if we don't control, this thing will not, some other one will take it, right? And why we leave the poor countries or, beggars to enjoy with this kind of resources, just take him, grab it. But if we believe that whatever written for them, nobody can take it, and if it is not written, they cannot take it. If they believe in this thing, the whole world become peaceful. And this is what happening at the broader level, and also among us also. Many times it happened that the one family person fighting with other. Why? Because, this person is taking more than that. This person is doing this. And if we know that this is a kind of destiny, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fixing it, so what we do? First thing, we will be happy with our whatever written for us. And then second choice, we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change my destiny. And He can change. Right? But we supposed to ask Him, not others. And just imagine, suppose, for example, I give you very Quran reported about Yusuf alayhi salam, right? And his brothers. What was the issue? The issue that father is caring more to Yusuf alayhi salam. It was the issue, not any other thing, right? They say, why not our father paying more attention as he is giving to Yusuf? Of course, it is a natural issue. It happened. So what is the solution? They're supposed to understand why father paying more attention to Yusuf. So suppose Yusuf alayhi salam is good, obedient, right, bright. So try to do the same thing, right? Same thing. Your position is solved. And they said, no. We're supposed to remove him. So then we will give more attention to us. And what happened? At the end, what happened? The person who was removed, he became king. And those who came to him begging, they got only what they were getting, they can get earlier, without whole journey of this suffering, right? So it means, for example, the destiny is the real it is not disclosed, but it is the only way, for example, which make us to survive. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of this qadr or taqdeer. If you ask him, as Rasulullah said, ad-du'a jo hai yarudul qadr, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can change the situation. The third hadith, which this is a story. 3 people are tested in the time of Bani Israel. So one person has a leprosy, skin disease. Other person he has no hair on his head, bald, and third one blind. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an angel. He said, what is the best thing you love? He said, if I have a good skin. People hate me. So it's okay. So he touched him, and then he become very good skin, very good shape of body. What you think for your earning? I said, I want if I have a camel, she camel. So he gave him one. The second one, he said, what you want? He said, if I have a nice hair on my head. People don't like it like me for this reason. So he asked him, touch him, and then he become very good. But what money you need? He said, cows. So he gave him she cow. And then the third was blind. He said, what is your position? He said, if I can see, if my eyes return. So he touched him, and then he become seeing everything. What kind of? He said, I need sheep or goats. So he gave him. After many years later, he came as a beggar, not as an angel, but as a beggar. And he came to that person. He said, I am coming from long journey, and I lost everything. Can you help me? So the person who has camels, he said, you know what? I spent 100 million hours to just make my journey of camel breeding good, and I'm earning. Now I just give you free. So he said, I think you were sometime was very poor person and you have a leprosy. He said, no, I am from my generation. My grandfather have this kind of good thing. So he said, if you are lying, so you will go back to your original position. So he become again same. Same thing happened to the person who has a hair, and he asked him, he refused. So he also said, okay, you will return if you are saying lie. But the blind person, when he came to him, so he said, you know what? Allah gave me this thing, and I am blessed. So whatever amount you want from sheep, you'll take it. I will not stop you. So he said, what? Keep your thing, everything with you. Allah subhanahu only tested you. And there are 2 companions, 2 things failed, and only you succeeded. You know, this is, we need to understand one thing. Mostly we think that test means when we are suffering, right? When some things, when it's a test. In eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, test is both way. From giving something and from taking someone. In Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if I gave something, so I am doing shukr or not, it is my test. If I am suffering and I do sabr, then it is my test. So either with shukr or either with sabr. So this person, the person, 3 persons, when they were suffering, they got good opportunity, so they thought that it is for eternal, forever, right? And it is not forever. The last hadith, which is a very good hadith, it is reported by Tirmizi. الكيس من دان نفسه وعمل لما بعد الموت والعاجز من اتبع نفسه هواها وتمنى على الله. The most smart person. What is the definition of smart in our time? The most cheating person, who can cheat anyone, who can deceive, who can play with minds of person, right? In these days, every smart person means that he can play with every person's mind. He blow the mind of people. Kay is the real intellectual, or you can say smart person in ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, Man dana nafsahu, the person who controlled his or her soul, her desire, her wishes, right? So deen, the word deen means actually what? Control. Not the deen is actually the apparent part of deen, practicing deen. But the real meaning of deen, I have a will. I don't want to go, for example, some good deeds, or I don't want to prepare for something. But I push my nafs to do this thing, it is my deen. So when I accepted the submission to Allah, my first part of deen confirmed. Then I prove it by my action, right? So, kayyis mandana nafsahu, the person who is taming, who is, for example, controlling the nafs and desires of nafs, and what he is doing also for what is benefit him or her in akhirah. Not only for dunya, but akhirah as well. And the person who is a fool person, or you can say the person who say, you know, I handicapped person, I cannot do. I am not, for example, able to do. Most of the time people, you know, when you ask him something, you know what, you know, brother, I'm not so smart, so I cannot do anything. And so he said, Rasul said, the person who this capacity is the person who is leaving his desire to control him, to dictate him. وَنَسِيَ وَتَمَنَّى عَلَى اللَّهِ, and he is believing that Allah is Ghafoor, so he will forgive him. Allah is taking care about everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, don't mind about these things. So in that sense, the tamanna or desire itself is not enough. That tamanna and desire is supposed to be supported by amal. And this is what Rasulullah said, yani when you are in deen issue, you not claim that you are ajiz or you are incapable to do something. You do whatever you can do. And whatever you are missing, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fulfill it. So this is really a very important point, that how the deen of us become our source of intellectuality. You know what happened? The biggest deception in our time, that smartness means if you are following deen, you are a foolish person. You are backward, right? You are just like, you know, you have nothing to do with this life. And those who are in dunya, they are most smart people. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala confirmed it, ulul albab. You know ulul albab? Lub means the real, this is the brain, right? Who are the brain people? Allah said, those who worship Allah, those who do ibadah, those who mindful, so and so and so. In our terminology, the most smart person, the one who mostly hate Allah or make fun of Allah, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called them sufaha, safi. But we turned the terminology, we change it, right? The deen become a source of what? Foolishness, backwardness, and so on. And you are dunya, you are a very smart person. But Rasulullah said to us that the real terminal, you know, if you have some money, just suppose if you have a diamond, right? And you just like a throw on the, you know, just like throw it. Who will call you a smart person? Nobody. So the most precious thing we have, our life, right? We cannot buy it, we cannot get it again, right? We have only one time chance. If I spend in a vague thing, in a senseless thing, I am foolish or I am smart. You know, one story book in Arabic, a very great book about the story is coming from the mouth of birds and animals. So one person, he said that he was a very master in crafting or you know, designing shaping the diamonds. So a person hired him, he has a diamond, he said, please shape my diamond. He said, okay. So when he came, so he was singing. So he said, you are a singer? He said, yes. So he said, can you sing? He started singing. So he reserved for him, suppose 2 hours, 3 hours, and he was singing. So when the time is over, he said, give me money. You know, you hired me to give me my example, whatever fee. So he said, but you didn't craft my diamond. He said, I came here for you to craft or design your, right, diamond, but he used me for singing, so I did my job. It is no, now you who lost it, but my fee will be confirmed. So it means, for example, that amal is my only way to convert my time in success. If I'm investing in other thing, so Rasul says that the intelligent person, the person who know that what is the real value of time and what is the real value in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so how I convert it. Just imagine, suppose a person earning, what is the maximum earning in this world? What is the maximum earning? Maybe you can convert 1 second, maximum, suppose $1 billion or $100 billion, whatever you can say, right? It is the maximum. But what is the $1 billion value in eye of Allah in Akhirah? Right? And kalima, subhanallah, only one word, Allah subhanahu said is equal to whole universe. So this is the value. But if we don't believe in it, then we are the losers. We think we are smart. So this is the muraqabah, or this is the way to be mindful about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it means when we are mindful about Allah, it will benefit us. Not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not benefit from it. He will not be, for example, if I are feeding anyone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be, he said, right? He will not be hungry. And no. If I give some donation, I say Allah become rich from my money. He is not rich. But it is me who will benefit from it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, La taghurrannakum al-hayatu dunya. Please be aware that this dunya is deception. It will not deceive you. So this is the muraqabah, and this is what we read today. Jazakumullahu khairan. Yes, brother. Asir, right? Yeah. مشيدة حسنة يقول هذه وإن تصب هذه من عندك قل كل من عند الله قوم لا يكادون يفقهون حديثا فمن نفسك ما أرسلناك للناس كفيلا.
وإذا غشيهم موجة الظل دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين فلما نجاهم من البر فمنهم مقتصد ما يشبه بآياتنا إلا كل ختار كفور. I think Umar ibn Khattab said that trust Allah, but carry your camel. And the Sahaba, they used to like when they go up, Sahaba Rafi, when they go up like in earth, like up sea level, they say Allahu Akbar, and when they go down, they say Subhanallah. And like an example would be like when we have the axe, like Allah al-Mathal al-A'la, like so Allah is the higher example in the heavens and the earth, Allah al-Mathal al-A'la of the samawat and earth. But like when we have like the constitution and then we have like the acts change all the time, but the constitution stays the same. But the Allah al-Mathal al-A'la, like here the constitution also changes, but like let's say like Jufat al-Aqlam and Jufat al-Sahaf, but also dua can change qadar and ain can change qadar as well, like evil eye. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
No. Yeah, but what the first ayah you decided, there is a two way to understand this ayah. One way is that nothing happening in this world without permission of Allah. لا تسقط من ورقة إلا يعلمها. Even the one leaf is falling, Allah knows it, right? So zarra of everything, tiny thing is not happening without permission. So original position is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who allowed everything to do this thing. It is the original position. But the second issue happened under this ayah. A person, he said that, for example, when I suffer, I blame others, right? When I enjoy, I said it is me who was a smart person here, this money. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said everything is coming from Allah, right? But when this is it called the qadar kawni. Kawni means it is the design of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave human being a choice, right, to do iman or to refuse iman, and I refused iman. So I will not blame Allah because I use my choice. But my choice as a original position, it is happened when Allah allowed me. But He is not pleased with me if I choose kufr. So it is qadr mashiyatullah, takvini and mashiyah. There's two kind of thing. Mostly the kuffar, when they blame Allah, they say it is created by Allah. Allah asks us not if why, they say why you are doing shirk. Said Allah permit us, right? So they blame Allah why you created us with freedom. You gave us freedom, so you are responsible, right? Yeah.
So like when you're in a ship and you're in a sailboat, if the wind comes from the front, you set the sails like diagonal and you go diagonal. If the wind comes from the back, you set them big and you go straight. If there's no wind, then you get the paddles out and you close the sails. So it's like, and then if it's a big storm, then like you just close all the sails and trust Allah. But like, and then like then they make dua, and then when they seize them, some of them like continue doing shirk,
Yeah.
some of them not. And then it says like Muhammad Salih ibn Uthaymeen and Ibn Baz, rahimahullah, they say that Qadr is four things. Like they said, Qadr is four things, and Allah created everything. Allah's knowledge is beyond infinity. And he wrote down some of which he knows, which is Maqadir as-Samawat, about 50,000 years before the creation. Like, and then everything happens by Allah's permission or by Allah's will. So it's like Surah Luqman, it's like the sailboats, it's like وَأَنَّ لَيْسَ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. This is in the Suhuf of Ibrahim and Musa. Like for man, it's only what he endeavors or strives towards. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.
Okay.
Pardon me for any mistakes that I've made. Allahu A'lam.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's,
You explained that when you pray like that you see Allah, or at least you imagine that He is seeing you. So when you say He is seeing you, that a person can be cautious and do whatever he is doing. So when you say that, pray like you are seeing Allah. Seeing Allah, imagine if you have something in your mind about anything, then you can imagine it. Then you can in your mind it comes like some kind of shape or something like. But we don't have anything like that. So how we can
yeah, this is really interesting, because when I see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so first thing come in my mind, what is Allah's face, how Allah's figure, how is Allah's body, right? This is mostly it happened. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He said, He explained to us His position with two ways. He said He has all attributes, but He is not similar to others. وَلَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. Nothing. So suppose if just like what happened, mostly those who are doing idol worshipping, they design Allah's face in a very strange way, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us not to go to that level. We supposed to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we are seeing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with His, you can say, attention to us, with our blessing to us, with our, all kind of rahmah to us. So this kind of seeing will helpful us to make our position clear with Allah. If we diverted ourselves to creating Allah's body and shape, then we will. Yeah. Yeah.
The Prophet ﷺ said about Jannah, and Allah is the higher example. فيها ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. So like to Allah is the higher example. Like, even Jannah, it didn't cross our mind what's in it. So how can you imagine Allah like?
Yeah. Again, you are, mashallah, going to other direction. I'm talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Jannah is not Allah. Allah is yeah, I know. The creation of Allah. But the thing is that Allah Himself described us some attributes of Jannah, right? He Himself. We cannot imagine, but He explained to us. But only thing He is saying, whatever I'm saying you, there will be water. But don't imagine this water. This is the thing, right? Yeah. Mostly, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He said that you will be questioned, we will be questioned. So which area of qadr will be questionable for us? This is the important thing is that. So He said, for example, everyone will ask about his life, about his young age, about his money, about these things. So it means these are the areas where the question is connected. But other area, Allah will not ask me why I created moon, why I didn't create two moons for dunya, why not create this kind of thing, because it is not related to my amal. So the only qadr which is related to my responsibility, it is under questionable thing. And I am asked only to focus on that part. Mostly we focus on other part. The point of qadr, taqdeer is that, just imagine, taqdeer means what? If you have car and you are supposed to say, I will start it without key, you will break car. Because the qadr of car is you have to put key and then you are supposed to have a switch it, then it will work, right? So qadr means, for example, already something designed. But if in this world of dunya you can change the system, you can make. But in the dunya, or in the sense of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created our body. Anywhere we go, all over the world, different phases, different reasons, different kind of thing, the whole body function is one, right? Blood circulation is same. Mu'min, believer, non-believer, and so on. So it is destiny. But the real problem is not this destiny, because it is a beauty. Because if suppose if I have a 50 years age and I spend my 25 years to discover how I run my body, my 25 years gone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from first day He programmed my body and it is functioning and growing and going this thing. And I can convert only in my action. This is the only my job. And the second point of taqdeer, that it is a really protection for me. When it is only in hand of Allah, so it means nobody can change my taqdeer. Illa billah. So in that sense, for example, it is giving me really strength. But what happened in our time, the taqdeer issue become for us as an excuse. Oh, it is written for me what I will do. I have no choice.
A person came to him and he said that he stole and they wanted to cut his hand. He said, it's the qadr of Allah that you're going, it's the qadr of Allah that I stole. Umar al-Khattab said, it's the qadr of Allah that we cut your hand.
Yeah. Yes.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.
جزاكم الله خير. شكر الله لكم.